Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 14th of May. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land, and it's a beautiful looking morning. Nice to see all the blossom out on the hedgerow. Everywhere I look, pretty much, it's there. Nice food for the bees. Can't help but notice though the length of this grass, this northern end of the field. I deliberately left that because there was loads of dandelions and I wanted food for the bees. Mega bright sun there coming over the trees. It looks like we might be in for a bit of a scorching hot weekend. Look at all that blossom on those trees over there. I'll not feel guilty about getting grass cut now that there's plenty of other sources of food. And talking about the bees, I might just be tempted to pop the hive open and take a look. It's getting to that time of year where the bees might start swarming, leaving the hive to set up another colony. So there's a couple of them just peeking out. Still too early and too chilly for them to be fully out, but the sun will move around very, very shortly. That hive will be in sunlight and it'll start warming up. So will they, and they'll be out and about. I don't know if you can see all the stalks of these dandelions. There's millions of them, but the flowers have died off. So let's see how the weather is, and if we can't get a bit of grass cut, I'll get opened up, get myself sorted out, and we'll catch up shortly. Well, first things first, as usual, sort the chickens out, and as usual, little red ones here. Ah, they do love it, this hand service. Anyway, coop needs sorting out, so let me get in there. I'll soon be in the cabin having a chat. Let's take a quick peek in here. Food and water's okay, actually. I've popped in a few times during the week to water both inside and out. It's been a bit of a pain lately. The weather is conspiring against us. A distinct lack of rain. 5, that's not bad for a day. And of course they haven't started laying yet. Not for today anyway. Look at all this mess. I'm going to have to sort that out today. They are scruffy. Scruffy birds. They're busy pecking around there. There'll be some greenery for them later, so it is the weekend after all. Right, let's get back in the cabin and we'll have a little chat. Well, good morning. It's the weekend again, and although it was a little bit cool this morning, the sun's out and it looks like we're in for a fine day and maybe a fine weekend, who knows. You really do have to make it up as you go along. You are completely dependent on the weather here and of course time. There's always lots to do outside of the cabin and the land. I've been really quite busy this last few weeks with work. Travelling a lot more than I thought I would be. Backwards and forwards, certainly once a week, sometimes twice a week. Quite distance actually to the far-flung reaches of the south. So that's wreaking havoc, as is the weather, because I'm also having to try and fit in during the week, Monday to Friday, at least a couple of visits just to check on the chickens and more importantly to water the plants. Normally I'd be expecting to just water the inside, but because of the distinct lack of rain for the whole year so far this year, we're really down on rainfall levels. I've been watering outside, and it's surprising how much water it does take. Astute viewers might recall I put something on the community tab this week on YouTube about global rainfall and the droughts that lots of countries were experiencing. And you would expect it in the hotter climate countries, the ones that are regularly popping up in the news. So African countries, you don't necessarily expect it in South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, that sort of Indo-subcontinent area, and also America. I commented about America, I think last week's video, southern states suffering. So it's not just confined to those traditionally hot countries. Here in Europe, Italy, France, Spain, all farmers complaining there about lack of rainfall and how that's going to impact on crop harvests this year. And we're having it too here in the UK. I've not heard farmers in the UK complaining, but that kind of thing doesn't really make it into the mainstream news media. It's not a sexy subject for them. They'd much rather focus on, you know, the inevitable COVID, war in Ukraine, or celebrity news. I've noticed lots of stories about celebrities in the news this last couple of weeks. I think the media is recognising that people are getting tired of listening to the endless drone about COVID or Ukraine, and just spice it up a little bit with some some news stories. The one that's been in the news this week has been about two famous footballers' wives having a ding-dong in the courts, each one complaining about the other one. And it's a real non-story. It's pathetic, really, that these people put themselves on such a big pedestal and claim to be celebrities because they married a footballer. But they do, and there's a large sector of the public that just love that kind of stuff, and they'd much rather spend the time glued to the TV or to social media seeing what the latest so-called celebrity is up to than focusing on stuff to improve their own life. They kind of live through these celebrities. Anyway, sorry, I digress as usual. So yeah, weather playing an important part in my cabin and land life right now, because of the lack of rain. But it is quite an important topic, because if the farmers are not having the right conditions to plant and to grow and then subsequently to harvest, then that's going to have a massive knock-on effect for you and me in terms of availability of food in the supermarkets. And as if we didn't have enough going on in the big wide world right now, we don't want yet another problem to rear its head and disrupt the global food supply chain. Other stuff that's happening in the big wide world, China, lots of news stories about China. I'm not talking about Taiwan or potential Taiwan conflict that seems to have been going on forever and hasn't yet materialised. I'm talking about the same topic actually as food I was talking about just now, the global supply chain. You remember in COVID there was a huge problem caused because China went into lockdown, which essentially turned off the switch for all of the factory production that you and I and lots of other countries around the world have come to depend on. We're all as countries addicted to cheap cheap products from factories in China that have cheap labour. So when COVID lockdowns closed those factories, we all felt it around the world. Prices spiked and suddenly stuff was missing. Potentially there's the same thing going to happen again this year. Shanghai's been locked down for weeks now, and in addition to being a big producer of goods, Shanghai is a massive port, and there are literally hundreds and hundreds of container cargo ships just parked up there doing nothing because the port is closed. And these ships should be busy ferrying stuff around the world to countries like yours and mine. But to kind of add to that, Beijing is now looking at a lockdown. So if people who do remember the crisis with the supply chain during COVID, welcome to COVID 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is now. There's going to be more disruption to the global supply chain through that. So lots of stuff going on in the big wide world, and people are waking up around the world now. Not necessarily here in the UK, because I think we're still too busy looking at the celebrity news. And that same could be said for mainland Europe and perhaps the US. There are more people aware now than there used to be, but it is still a small fraction of the population. The rest of the population doesn't really wake up until the supermarket shelves are empty or there's no petrol or diesel at the filling station. That's when they wake up and suddenly kick up a big fuss. But around the world, more aware people than us, in more fragile economies than ours, are. So in India, in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka, some countries in South America, you have actually got, protesters on the street. And as we go through the rest of this year, and this impact on food really starts to take hold, it's certainly going to get far worse in those countries, and I suspect it will spread here. There are already grumblings about the cost of living here in the UK. There are news articles on the mainstream media randomly here and there, which are complaining about price of electricity and gas for the house, or price of diesel and petrol for vehicles, and a little bit about food. Those noises are definitely going to get bigger as we go through this year. So if you're not already trying to insulate yourself by looking at what you can do to reduce your reliance on electric and gas for your house, or on petrol and diesel for your car, please do start doing so, because these prices are definitely not going to go down. They're only going to go up. I'm trying to reduce the amount of mileage that I'm doing in my vehicle. Difficult, because I do use it for work as well. I know of family members who have stopped taking the car to work and are using bicycles instead. What about kids for school? Try walking instead of using your car. Just reduce the amount of money that you're having to allocate to fuel for your vehicles. Difficult here in the UK to do much about the price of energy for the home. We had that huge 50% hike back in April, and we've got at least another 25% hike coming at the end of the year in October. And I've talked before about potentially looking at solar as a means of powering your house. I think more and more people will be investigating that, certainly in conversations I've had. I had one literally yesterday with a guy from work, and we had a work meeting online, and we were just having a bit of a chat afterwards before we signed off and closed down the meeting. And he was saying that last year he'd actually invested in solar for his house, and he'd already noticed the savings in the monthly bills that he was paying previously for electricity, and he was actively looking now to try and change his vehicle to an electric vehicle because he had sufficient power left over from his solar panel array that he could either export it to the grid and earn a few pence, it's not much, or he could use it to replace petrol for his vehicle. He'd just buy an electric car and have free energy for that. So there are options out there. It's certainly something I'm looking at come the glorious day that I move into my new house. I've been actively hunting around trying to see what deals are available for solar panels. Yes, it is a big investment. You have to spend quite a few £1,000s up front to have it installed, but the payback, the time to pay back on your investment, because of the advancements of both the panels and the battery storage, it is coming down. You can now look to have a return on investment within 3 to 4 years rather than the traditional 8, 9 or 10 years that it used to be. So it is worth considering if you've got a suitable roof or space in your garden to put a solar array up. And I'll certainly be investigating myself. On the house front, bit of news on that this week, literally yesterday, or a document packed through from the solicitors. So it would seem that we're at the final straight now of the race. I'm not trying to get too excited about it, given the amount of time it's taken so far, but fingers crossed, there is light at the end of that tunnel. Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. Want to take the chance to say a quick thank you to everyone who has been commenting on the videos and the community posts as well. Do appreciate your comments, so do keep those coming. And I think other people in the comment section who take the time to read through also appreciate your comments. Activity at the cabin and the land this weekend. I just keep looking out to see how that sun's getting on. It would be nice to get a bit more grass cut, tidy up the field, because I've only done a small portion so far this year, and it is evident as you walk around by the huge dandelion stalks that are littering the field, so it'd be nice to get rid of that. Plus, of course, it's a bit of feed for the chickens and feed for the compost bins as well, so it is well worth doing. Planting, I'll give you a quick run around to see what's happening with planting. It's been a slow start this year in terms of seeding, or seedlings I should say. You'll know from past videos this year, the germination rate has been pretty poor, and I've had to reseed in some cases. Particular vegetables I've had to reseed twice. But it's nice to notice this morning the activity this week. There has been some, so I will share that with you as I go around. The polytunnel is getting absolutely full, and I'm going to have to create some space in there now because it is time to look at planting more carrots and potatoes, so I need to think about what I'm going to do to get the existing ones moved out. Also noticed a bit of a pest problem in there as well. I've plucked out a couple of slugs this morning and fed them to the chickens while I was waiting for the kettle to boil for this coffee. I'm hoping we're not going to have a repeat of the problems we had last year, but we are at the mercy of nature. Mother Nature will do whatever she wants, and there's pretty much nothing we can do about that. So how are you getting on with your planting? A couple of people have commented, a couple of people have reached out by email with pictures of seedlings, which is very nice to see. So do feel free to share your progress, good, bad or indifferent. I share everything that I've got going on. If it works, I'll share it. If it doesn't, I'll equally share it. So let us all know what's happening. Whatever I am up to today, I will keep you posted as we go through the video. We'll see how time progresses, whether it's a single Saturday video or whether we fall back onto the combo Saturday, Sunday combined. I don't know. We'll see how we get on. It would be nice as well to take a look at the bees It is coming to a kind of crucial time of year for them, and I will need to make a decision as to whether I want to try and split out the existing hive and create a second one. So I might be reaching out to you, Simon, if you're watching, for a bit of advice on that. But whatever it is I get up to, I'll share, as I always do, as we go through the rest of the video. So stay safe and well, enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch up with you shortly. Right, let's take a little run round. There's nothing really much different here to tell you. Everything is just merrily growing away, but these trees, I don't know if you can see that, they're almost up to the ceiling of the garden room, so these are going to have to go out at some point. I think I'm fairly safe now in terms of frost, famous last words. So I'll have a little ponder this weekend as to where I want to put them. But yeah, they're getting really quite large now. They're definitely going to have to go outside. Blueberries, putting on loads and loads and loads of berries, which is very nice. I do keep looking at this fig tree, desperately praying that I'm going to see a fig this year. Well, I'd like to see more than one fig, but you know what I mean, just something. I planted some seed trays in here last week, just popped them under cover, and we've actually got signs of life. This one's cucumber. There's quite a few germinated there, 2, 4, 6, there's 7 that I can, 8 I can see. Broccoli, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that one. Nothing's happened in this one. I think that's beetroot in there. Really poor this year, and look at that, there's a little tiny bloody slug in there. Let's get rid of that. These other two, that's lettuce in this end one, cauliflower, nothing's happening in that one. It is still a bit early, it's only a week, but you know, having seen the broccoli and the cucumber come through, you'd hope to see the rest coming through. Little stroll out to the chickens' raised bed. Quite a lot going on in there. Lots and lots of lettuce coming through. And there's that's a borage at the back. Something's been digging away though, that's chewed through the bloody netting. That's got to be rabbits. My friend was down the other week and managed to take 4 rabbits, but I suspect there's probably 10 times that amount left to go at. So if you're watching, Matt, get your butt down here and take some more. Potatoes doing very well in these old whiskey barrels. Pleased with those. Raised beds, you can see I've been watering these. The onions and the garlic. If I'd not watered this last couple of weeks, these wouldn't have survived for sure. Strawberries, I have noticed quite a few now are actually putting out berries, so that's nice. Sweet corn putting on some quite nice growth, and there's a stray potato there and something's been eating it. That's got to be pigeons. Got to be. I don't know how these potatoes manage to find their way. They're everywhere. I just keep finding potatoes in random buckets or beds. I suspect I'm going to have a decent crop of strawberries this year, and I've still got some more buried around the back of the polytunnel here. So loads. Inside the polytunnel, it's a veritable hive of activity. The potatoes are getting a bit out of hand. I'll just leave that door open for now. The newest one's putting on really strong growth, and then we turn into a potato forest. We've got flowers on the potatoes, so that's nice to see. What I will do, actually, I'll do it now. I'll just have a little play with those flowers. I did this last year in the hopes of getting some potato berries, and then I can save seed, true potato seed. And talking about true potato seed, these in this bucket are actually the very, very small tubers that I grew from potato seed. So that's nice to see that growth on there. It'll be interesting to see what I get in terms of tubers from these, because they are a completely different variety, because I've grown them from seed. They're not the normal clones you get by planting seed potato tubers. These at the end here are starting to fall down. So I could, in theory, look, there's more bloody slugs. Look at that. I just chuck that outside. It's food for the birds. Yeah, they're starting to fall over already. I just noticed there's a potato showing there. I don't want it to get in the light. So I think I'll be getting an early harvest this year. Seed trays that are reseeded. Still nothing there. Cabbage and cauliflower. Oh, I tell a lie. There's one there. And there's one there. But quite poor. This tray, however, broccoli. Loads coming through there. That's chilli plants. I don't think I showed you me seeding those. Can't remember. But yeah, they're through. These other trays. This is swede in this one and cauliflower in that one. So it's difficult to see, I think, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 through there. And loads. I think every cell in this, yeah. 25 have germinated there. More swede in this one. Beetroot again, look. Not coming through. And I don't know why that is. Cucumber, tomato, and I've actually got some bigger tomato which I've put into these big buckets down here. So they're all pretty much ready. They're coming on leaps and bounds. They weren't like this last week. They're putting on loads of growth now. These are strays. That is a stray potato. I'd planted some pumpkin seed in here. That hasn't come through, but a potato has. I don't know where it's come from. That one is a pumpkin for sure in that one. The cranberry bush putting on lots of growth now. I've actually got that sat in water. I didn't do that last year, and it kept dying back. So I've learned from my mistake, and I've got it sat in water, so it's permanently wet, which is what cranberry is like. Carrots, lots of new seeds coming through in those buckets, and then there's the first ones I planted, which have put on massive growth. I am going to have to, though, thin these out, otherwise they won't develop into big, thick cucumbers. So, lots going on in the polytunnel. Just a quick look on the beehive. It's just starting to get into sun. And looking at the sky, I think we might be in for a bit of a scorcher day today. There is a little bit of cloud across there towards the sort of southwest, but yeah, it's looking good for grass cutting. Anyway, let me get back in the cabin. I'll get the tractor garage opened up ready. I'll get my beekeeping suits and all the different accoutrements out as well, and hopefully you'll have a bit more interest in this video today. Well, it wouldn't be the weekend without the greenery for the chickens. Lots of lettuce there for them to go at, and hopefully there'll be a bit of grass clippings as well later. Fingers crossed. It's nice to see them pecking around and enjoying. Put that little red tractor out. We'll let that run for 5 minutes just to get it warmed up. I'll have a little quick walk up the field, see how dry the grass is at the top end there, and if it's okay, we'll have a go. Well, we're slowly getting there. It is very slow progress because the grass is still quite wet. It's morning dew rather than wet rain, but it just sits in the grass, and the sun typically has disappeared behind the clouds. So yeah, slow going. Anyway, it's fine. Got as much time as it takes to do it. Not bothered really. It is a bit difficult down that far side around the trees, but I've got a little mower for that and strimmer if I need to. So we'll just keep plodding on, see how the weather develops. Really itching to get inside that beehive, but I'll go dump this grass first and maybe give some to the chickens. Well, we're slowly getting there. The chickens have certainly got plenty to go at, so they'll be rummaging around in there, enjoying that. Only steadily filling the compost bins up. I'm trying to layer them rather than just piling loads of grass on. So some of it will go on the underneath the wooded area here as well. Still quite a bit to do. Got to keep pushing on. Well, slowly but surely we're getting there. I've gone across this centre section as well as the road and the northern section there. So we're cleared all the way from the pond area, past the beehive, all the way down to the road. Looking very nice. Little red tractor's worked its socks off today. It was a bit of a struggle earlier with the grass being wet, but we haven't got much more to do now. Well, I say we haven't got much more to do. We've got all of this bit here, which is plenty to be going at. But another hour or so, hopefully it'll be done. So let's get cracked on and get it finished. Well, as usual, it's taken far longer than expected, but it's looking very nice. All the way around. Central section done, northern section done, all the way around. The only little bit that's left is that very tiny bit by the roadway, which I did I do that a week ago? I can't remember. But I may as well just get on with it since I'm doing this. The hours are whizzing by, but it's looking very nice. Well, there we go. That's the whole field done. It's took a bit of doing, but it's all looking very nice. Also just ran round the entrance as well, just to finish it off, so I can say, although it's taken most of a day, all the grass is cut. So well done, little red tractor. Let's go and get you emptied, and I think I'll have a quick cup of coffee. Well, we're well into the afternoon already, and I'm going to have to spend a bit of time watering all the plants in the polytunnel. It's absolutely roasting in here. This is going to take a while. Well, this weather's certainly crazy. It was forecasting 62% chance of rain today. Maybe it means midnight today, because it's certainly not raining. It's absolutely scorching out there. And if I don't keep on top of this watering, all this hard work in raising the seedlings is going to go to waste. It's painful when you've got to do outside as well, but I can't take the chance to lose them. It's a lot of water. It's a good job I've got big storage tanks. Not sure if you'll see this or not, but this is the garden room and it's there. It's 45 degrees. God, the cabin must be even hotter because it's in direct sunlight. I don't know if you'll see that or not. It's pushing towards 50, 47, 48. That's ridiculous. Well, here we are all dressed up. This is not the day really to be in this suit. I've stripped down to t-shirt, but it's still scorching. I can't believe how hot it is. Look at the full sun, and that is blinding, really blinding. I don't know what I'm going to get done in the hive. I want to look at it to see what's happening, but if there's any sign of queen cells, I'm tempted. I've got a little box here. I'm tempted, if I find some queen cells, to swap the frames into this box. This is full of empty frames, so I can take the empty ones out, put them in there, the main hive, and put the ones with the queen cells into that new, what will be a new hive eventually. Bees are absolutely going crazy outside. They're in and out like yo-yos, foraging. So let me get this set up on the tripod, and we'll see if we can get a look inside the hive with you. Alright, apologies for the delay. I was just getting my gloves on, and the last thing I want to do is get stung. So let's take a look, see what we've got. Well, that's well glued down. I don't know if you'll pick the noise up on the camera, but there's a lot of... Wow. Look at that. It's time to put another box on. Now then. You might remember they weren't in here last time I looked. They were only in the bottom box. Lots of activity in here. They've drawn these frames out, so they've put their little honeycomb but I don't think they've actually started filling them yet. No, they're just drawing them out. Where to put them? Where to put them? You'll see better on this one. You see how they've started drawing out the white honeycomb. Hope you can see that. So there's not a lot going on in here. They're working away, but I don't see any cells with eggs or larvae in, so I'll take this super frame off completely. And just pop it to one side. A lot of work going on further back in the frame. I'll take one of these out near the middle, you'll see what I mean. That's heavy. That's capped off, that's actually honey. Can you see that? At the bottom end, the cells are open with honey. The white is the capped off cells, they're where they've sealed the ends of the cell. So that is honey, completely full of honey, and actually very heavy. And almost all of the centre frames are like that. Honey. Well, that's kind of surprised me, because we are still quite early. But let me take this off. This is going to be really heavy, because I want to look in the brood box at the bottom. I'm hoping that comes. Yes, there we go. That's mega heavy. We don't want to go back in. This is really well stuck down. There we go. Hopefully. That'll lift off. Yes. So much activity going on in here. Frames are very stuck together. Let's get this front one out and make a bit of space. Now this is also very heavy, and you can see it's capped honey. Can you see that? Lots of honey in there. where to put it. Right, let's shuffle these along a little bit. What I'm looking for is probably going to be around the middle. Yeah, I don't see. These are all brood cells, which will have larvae in, hatching out. But I don't see a queen cell, which is what I'm after. They're getting a bit ruckusy now. Yeah, I don't see a queen cell on there either. No. I'm just wondering, I don't think it is a queen cell at the bottom, but they've gone to a lot of trouble there. I might come back to that one. It's so hot. No, I don't see anything on there either. Just larvae, capped larva cells, and some empty ones, lots of empty ones. Let's try the next one. Yep, still not seeing what I'm looking for. Ah. That could be at the bottom. There. But I think it's empty. lots more brood cells there capped off. Certainly producing a lot of new bees. Don't know if you'll see that or not. There's a larva just in that cell there. If you can see that white. We're filling this one with honey again. You see the white at the top? Lots of cells there with honey in at the top here. They're all getting ruckusy. It's taken a bit longer than I would have liked, but I'm trying to make sure. God, this is really heavy, this one. Yes, honey. At the top is capped off honey cells, the bottom is just open honey cells, and on the back it's fully capped off, full of honey. That's a lot of honey. And the end one's the same. So I think I'll be tempted to split this out. Right. I'm going to take a chance. Take those out. And I'm going to put just checking to see if I can see the queen. I don't want to move the original queen. I don't see it. Right, that's got honey, so we'll put that in. finding the right one. Yeah, that's the one. Right. Let's shuffle these back together. Getting ruckusy. Let's have that one back in. And a completely new one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're okay. Right, let's put it back together. Let's get them sealed up. That might be a job for tomorrow, putting those frames in. I'm absolutely roasting. Well, I can't believe how hot it's been today. I had to have a little lie down in the shade for 10 minutes while the kettle was boiling. Get some fluids down me. I need to do a couple more jobs very quickly. The day's passing so quickly. It's 2:30 already, and I've got stuff that I need to do away from here. But I want to just pop that little hive box that I've split from the main hive just onto a little platform, get it off the ground. Tomorrow, it's going to have to be tomorrow, I'll take out some of those honey frames, I think, and take a look at those and replace them with empty frames. I'm stunned how much honey has been made in such a short space of time. It's only a few weeks since I looked at it, and that top box, which is now absolutely chock-a-block with honey, was literally just empty frames. I can only put it down to the dandelion and the hawthorn flowering. They've clearly gone crazy and bred like crazy because that hive is so full. So it does need thinning out for sure, but I've just not got no time. So it'll be another full day tomorrow. Well, half a day tomorrow because I'm busy in the morning. Whether I get anything videoed or not remains to be seen tomorrow. I'll try my very best, but I'm keen to get tidied up, get everything away, get that second hive box off the floor, and it'll be time to go. Time, there's just never enough. Well, that's it for today. Absolutely worn out. Where's this 62% chance of rain that they were talking about? Because it ain't here. I've had to water everything today. Need to water myself. That riding around on the tractor all day in the sun and then cooking. Sorry, I digressed there. There was something moving around down here. Don't know what it was. Yeah, that cooking in the beekeeper suit. I had to have a lie down. Completely worn out. I'd cooked myself. I've just popped that other hive onto a couple of blocks of wood just to keep it off the floor. Going to be interesting to see how that pans out today and tomorrow. Whether they're going to try and go back into the original hive or whether they're going to adopt that as the new home. I can see one flying around the door there. So I'm hoping they'll make that their home. I shall see tomorrow anyway. The other hive, completely stunned today. First time obviously I've got honey, and I can't believe how much there is in that hive. Absolutely rammed with it. So I'll have to have a bit of a tidy up with that tomorrow as well. So much to do and so little time. However, it's nice to see the grass all cut down. Really pleased I've got that done. Got the whole field done, which is probably why I am so worn out. But it's looking real nice. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. Top tip, if you're out in the sun, don't overdo it. You get the fluids down you and have more than one rest. Anyway, I'm off home, try and sort this video out. I've got a load of little jobs I need to do. I'm on taxi duty tonight for some family members. There's never enough time. Anyway, I'll catch you all in the next one, hopefully tomorrow. Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.